What's up, ladies? Oh, you like that? Look at that shirt. That's perfect. It's happened to all of us when we play Pac-Man, doesn't it? Coming at you with my NFC predictions now. I did my AFC video earlier, and now I'm gonna do my NFC, whatever I said. Okay. So if you saw my last video, you would see that I picked the Colts to go to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna start in the NFC North. We're gonna start with a fourth place team. It's in here somewhere. Taking a look at Blinky or whatever that ghost's name is. Where are they? Are they not in here? Oh, here they are. Well, about as existent in real life as they are in my box. The Chicago Bears. 4-12. Worst team in the one of the worst teams in the league this year. Actually, I don't have a team that's worse than 4-12 in my list. I'm being generous, but I think the Bears go 4-12. They do have offense, but I'm not a believer. I'm not. I'm just not. Jay Cutler, he's gonna throw an interception every single game. That's all I gotta say. They might as well just rehire, obtain Caleb Haney. I think they'd be better off with him. But 4-12. Third place team. I think they take a step back this year. I think it's the Lions. I think they go 8-8. They have a solid offense in place. They have a solid defense in place. I just think this is that one year where they just take a little bit of a step back. It's like Miami a little bit. I think their year's coming. They're a solid ball club, and they have been for the last couple of years now. Give it a couple years. 8-8. Gio, your sixth seed in the NFC playoffs with a 9-7 record. Minnesota Vikings. Teddy Bridgewater, I think he kills it this year. I think he does a really good job. Adrian Peterson is back. This team won, 6 or 7 games last year without Adrian Peterson? I'm interested to see how they'll do with Adrian Peterson. Certainly will help, and it certainly will help as well that Teddy Bridgewater, this is his second year in the league. Yep. Minnesota Vikings, I think will go 9-7. They're a solid team. Mike Zimmer, I think, will do a good job in his second year as head coach. And they're your 6th seed. And then your division winner, predictably, and your 2 seed is the Green Bay Packers. I think they go 11-5. And they're a solid ball club. 11-5. I mean, I don't really need to say much about them because we all know what they have. They have Aaron Rodgers. They have Randall Cobb. They have Jordy Nelson. They still got Clay Matthews. Do I need to say more? They're a solid team. They're the 2 seed. NFC East. We'll start with our 4th place team, the Washington Redskins. 4-12. 4-12. I'm not an RG3 believer. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm just not. That's all I gotta say. 4-12. Your 3rd place team. A lot of people think that this is gonna be a good year for them, but I don't know. 7-9. Yeah. I like what the Giants are doing. I think Victor Cruz and Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be a solid duo. But Jason Pierre-Paul lost his finger. That's all I got to say. But I don't know. I'm not a Giant believer. I'm not. A lot of this is gut feelings. A lot of these predictions are gut feelings. That's what these all are for all of us who make these videos. And my gut feeling is the Giants will go 7-9. Your 2nd place team, they do not repeat as division champs. The Cowboys, I think they are mediocre again. I think they go 8-8. I think last year was an arbitrary year for them. I think that's the right way to use that word, arbitrary. It's like more advanced in vocabulary than I even know. But I think I probably used it wrong. I'll be surprised if I used it right. Let me know if I did or not. But I think the Cowboys go 8-8. Des Bryant finally signed his contract. Yippity. doodah, skippity skippity doodah. But the defense will return to 2013 form a little bit. That's the way I see it. I mean, defense can't play like that forever with the pieces they have. Granted, they do have more experience under the belt. But I think they go 8-8. Losing DeMarco Murray might hurt a little bit, but that offensive line is still very beast. And I think your division winner barely 9-7 wins the division, and I think the Eagles are able to do it. Chip Kelly's putting some interesting pieces in place, and I think it comes together late. I think the Eagles start out the season like 4-6 or 3-5 or something like that, and then they finally figure it out and they start to go on a little run, and it's enough to be able to win the division. I think they go 9-7. I think they're your 4 seed. But yeah, that's my take on the Philadelphia Eagles. It's plain and simple, 9-7. NFC West. I am being generous to the 49ers. I'm giving them 6 wins. I'm going to cut them a little bit of a break because they've had a hell off season. Probably one of the worst off seasons I have ever seen. I think they go 6-10. They drop back down to earth. They had a solid run for a good 3.5 years. Saying half, they were like what 7-4 at some point last year. But they went to 3 straight NFC Championship games. Their window has closed. They're back to 2007 form, 2008 form. 6-10. 4th place. 3rd place. St. Louis Rams. They're starting to figure it out. I think they go 8-8. I think they are a solid ball club. They would win the division if they were in the NFC South, the NFC East, or even the AFC East. They would win. They play in a crappy division. I think they go 8-8. Nick Foles will do some work. It'll be more quarterback work than the Rams have had in the last decade. But we'll see. Your 2nd place team and your 5 seed in the playoffs. I don't think they repeat as division champions. I think the Seattle Seahawks lose the division. I think they're the 5 seed in the playoffs. I think they go 11-5. It's still good enough to be one of the best records in the NFL. They still have Russell. They still have their entire team, for the most part. They got Jimmy Graham, so that'll be more offense for them. But you can't have too much success forever. That's the way I see it. I've said that a lot. I don't know. I guess that's my saying or something. But 11-5, you're 5 seed. All right, and now your division winner and your 1 seed. I am a big believer in the Arizona Cardinals. If they can stay healthy, which I think they're able to do this year. For God's sakes, I think they're going to go 12-4 first of all. And for God's sakes, they won 1 less game than I'm predicting them to win this year, last year, and their entire team was injured every single week. Carson Palmer only played 5 full games. They were rotating QBs in like it was a merry-go-round, and they still won 11 games. It finally caught up with them when they played the Panthers in the playoffs, but any team would lose with a 4th-string quarterback. I mean, I think the Arizona Cardinals go 12-4. I think they're your 1 seed. You can say I'm smoking some stuff all you want. I'm a big believer in Arizona. I think Bruce Arians is one hell of a coach, and I think the Cardinals, they do some crazy things this year. I think they recapture their spark of their 9-1 start from a year ago, and I think they stay healthier than they were a year ago. That's huge. NFC South, 4th place. Give it a year, Bucs fans. Give it a year. If Jameis Winston can keep his off-field crap down and he plays well on the field, I think the Buccaneers will be good in a year or 2. But now for this year, he's developing. I think they go 6-10. I think that's fair for them. Got Winston. I mean, I'm giving them the majority of these wins because they have Mike Evans and Vincent Jackson. So it's not like Jameis Winston is going into Tampa Bay with no weapons, because he's got some weapons there. Lovie Smith's been the coach for a year now. Let's see if he doesn't flop like he did last year, but we'll see. Bucs fans, hang in there. Your third place team, Carolina Panthers. You can only get so lucky so many times. And last year they were very lucky to win the division because they were 3-8-1 last year at some point, and they managed to win the division. I think they go 7-9 this year, third place in the division. Cam Newton's still a hell of a quarterback, but you got to think that this team. I mean, I think they lose it. They're a half game worse, and they're in third place in the division because not every division is going to be that bad every single year. And last year, the NFC South was bad, and I think they're going to be better this year. Not that much better, but better enough. Your second place team, I think, is the Atlanta Falcons. I think they bounce back a little bit. Their new coach, I think Dan Quinn from Seattle, that's a defensive mind right there. And the Falcons have had trouble playing defense. They still have Matt Ryan. He's still a franchise quarterback. And he has some of the craziest weapons in the game. I mean, he's got Roddy White on one side. Yes, he's getting up there in age, but he's still productive. And they have Julio Jones. They have the offense, and they have a defensive mind. I say give it a year for a lot of teams, but Atlanta's climbing up the ranks. I think they go 8-8. And your 3 seed, I think the New Orleans Saints finally get the division title back, because the Saints are the kind of team that they don't go away because they do have a franchise quarterback. A franchise quarterback that's not going to miss the playoffs 2 years in a row. I don't think Drew Brees is going to miss the playoffs 2 years in a row. I mean, yes, he can only do so much as a quarterback. He doesn't really play defense. But the Saints lost a lot of close games last year. I think they were 4-4 at some point last year, and they had barely lost to the Browns. They barely lost, I think, in week 1 to the Falcons. This is a team that was not able to catch a break last year, and I think they go 10-6, and I think they're the 3 seed. Now, your playoffs. I'm going to start with the Saints at the Vikings. This should be familiar to some of you Vikings and Saints fans. This was the NFC Championship matchup back in the day. I think it was 6 years ago or something like that. I think it's going to go the other way. I think the Vikings are going to go into New Orleans, and I think the Vikings will be your surprise team this year. There's always one of those teams that you don't expect to play well or do as good as you think they will, and I think this year the Vikings are going to be that team that performs better than people think. And I think they go into New Orleans, and I think they beat the Saints. So, Vikings win. And then you have the Seahawks traveling to take on the Eagles. Seattle on the road. There's still something to it. They're not at home. It may not be that big of a difference, but it's still Seattle on the road. And they're traveling all the way to the East Coast to play Philadelphia. I think you're going to see another upset. I think the Eagles are going to win this game. They have the offense. They have the fast-paced offense to slow down. And Seattle, they did lose their defensive coordinator. I mean, we don't know for sure how good Seattle's defense is going to be next year. We expect them to be well because we're used to that, but we don't know for sure. I think the Eagles win this game. And then we have the 6-seeded Vikings traveling to take on the 1-seeded Cardinals. Sorry, Joe. I think this is as far as Minnesota's going. I think the Arizona Cardinals beat the Vikings. I think Minnesota, I don't think it's too close, but I think Minnesota does what they can. I think it's going to be like a 27-17 type game. I think Minnesota's going to hang in there, but I think Arizona's going to do what they did best last year when they won games and win by like 7 or 10 points using the weight of their defense. But I think the Cardinals get to their championship game. First championship game since 2008. And then you have the Eagles traveling to take on the Packers, a game in which I think the Packers rip the Eagles a new one. And then you have another familiar 2009 playoff game, Packers at Cardinals, in your championship game. I'm not going to predict both 1 seeds to go on. That's happened what? The last 2 years? No. So I'm sorry, Cardinals fans. This is as far as you're going. I'm not a guy that believes that 1 seeds are going to rule for 3 years in a row. I think the Packers go to the Super Bowl. I'm predicting the same Super Bowl this year that I predicted last year, but last year it was more on a whim. It was a gut feeling last year. But this year, both of these teams have made the changes they needed to make to their roster to really make themselves known to the public as title contending teams, more so than they did last year. And I think this will be your Super Bowl next year. I thought it was going to be last year. I was wrong, but I think this will be your Super Bowl. I think you're going to get the Packers, and I think you're going to get the Colts. I think the Colts trend of losing of going on and losing a game continues. I think that they lose the Super Bowl to the Packers. I think Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers gets a second title, and the Green Bay Packers overall as a team win their 5th title. Those are my predictions. Thank you for watching as always. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys later. I'll get my power rankings up probably within the week. So thank you for watching.